Hey, this is Dancing Rabbit, and welcome to another late weekend pagan perspective. I'm telling you, my day job is just absolutely eating me alive as far as my personal energy, time, but it pays the bills, so hopefully it will continue. This week's topic is a question from a viewer from Spain asking about our feelings about firearms, guns. Since apparently in Spain there is not a general right to privately own firearms, and there is in the United States, and it's a fairly major political issue here, at least among some people. So, what are our thoughts on it? My background as a teacher, history teacher, let me share some of my thoughts of the historical background of this. It's based on the Second Amendment to the current U.S. Constitution, which reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." Now, this goes back a little further to the English Bill of Rights, which said that basically people have the right to defend themselves. In the very early days of the United States, coming up to the ratification of our Constitution, there really wasn't much in the way of a standing army or local police forces. Much of the United States was frontier, and people had to they had to hunt for food to eat. There was the constant threat of attack by the Native Americans, who were not so happy about being squeezed out of their land. The militias were volunteers in the community who were willing to meet periodically, say once or twice a month on the village green, and do military type drill. And if there was some need or other, they were all called together, assembled into a sort of volunteer military. This is basically how we won our independence, which was a decade or so before the Constitution. So this is kind of the background of it. Personally, I own several firearms. I haven't shot them in years. They're basically my father's guns that I kind of inherited, so there's a sentimental value to it. I'm not opposed to hunting for meat. I eat meat, and I think that if you're going to eat meat, you ought to have some knowledge as to where the meat came from, that it's not just a neat thing in a plastic package that you get in a store. It was a living, breathing creature. I think that's part of the respect for nature, that you understand where food comes from. I'm not particularly opposed to hunting or fishing, more or less for sport. I'm not a hunter. I've really never hunted. My father and grandfather were, and it's a big deal back in South Arkansas, where I come from, to go deer hunting or duck hunting. Now, the people that do that, of course, are not about to starve to death. They can afford to go to the store and buy food, but they're not just killing stuff for trophies. They're going to eat the kill. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with using firearm for self-defense. I don't keep a loaded gun in the house, so I guess it's maybe a moot point. By the time I found the little revolver and got it loaded, I'd probably be long since overpowered. But if someone were breaking into my house, and it's just my wife and I who live here, so it wouldn't be a kid or someone accidentally coming in that we thought was breaking. If someone were breaking into the house, I wouldn't have a problem shooting them. assuming I could get to the gun quick enough. I don't think that I would shoot to kill. I would shoot to maim, to disable, to discourage the person from harming me. I don't walk around with a gun on my person. I don't have a license to carry. I've never carried a firearm in my car or on my person. But if I had one and someone attacked me, I think that I would be within my rights to defend myself. And again, I wouldn't shoot to kill. I would shoot to maim, to disable, to discourage from hurting me. I think that doesn't violate the Reed. Now, I'm not strictly Wiccan, but I think the Reed is good advice. I don't think it's absolute. I mean, absolute harming none. I don't think you could go through life without, to some extent, harming something or someone by your own actions. I think, though, it is a balance. There's a very big difference between purposely going out to hurt someone and defending yourself and somebody gets hurt in the process. I have a great deal of disagreement with a lot of my rather right-wing Facebook friends and friends from back home in Arkansas who feel that the U.S. government is or the United Nations or somebody out there conspiring is a big threat, and the main reason you have to have guns is not because somebody's going to break into your house and try to rob you, or you need to go shoot some meat for the dinner table, but because a sort of police state is going to arise, and we have to be prepared for this doomsday scenario to defend our freedom. I think that's rather far-fetched. I don't think it's happened or even about to happen or likely to happen. And if it did happen, I don't think I could possibly stockpile enough guns and ammo to defend myself against the U.S. military. I would be massively outgunned. And yes, there's some that envision this sort of guerrilla war against the evil government. I just don't see that happening. So personally, I feel that in the United States, guns really should be a lot more regulated than they currently are. The semi-automatic, high round magazine assault rifle type guns should be banned, as are machine guns and hand grenades and bazookas and surface-to-air missiles. I see no use for those in civilian hands. I think that just like I have to take a class and pass a test to drive a car, I think that I should have to take a class, pass a test, get a license to own a firearm. Now, most of my right-wing friends violently disagree with that that's an infringement upon their right. But when you look back at the text of the Second Amendment and the historical context of it, it doesn't say that every citizen has the right and the duty to own a firearm. It says a well-regulated militia. Now, in that day, it was a rather volunteer, loose sort of a thing. Today, we have the National Guard. That is our militia. So I think that the right in the United States to keep and bear arms is not absolute, should not be absolute. That the original intent was to have a volunteer civilian militia and allow them to keep the peace. So, without repeating, rambling, I think I'm going to finish up my coffee and sign off, upload this thing, and get off to work. So, till next time, Dancing Rabbit. Peace, y'all.